Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You're welcome to class. How are you all doing? Inshallah, we're going to continue with our serial from where we stopped last week. Last time we actually were looking at some of the experiences of the Prophet in Mecca, his persecution to be precise. So inshallah, we're going to move on to his secret teaching as well as his dawah. When the persecution became too much and his followers were finding it very, very difficult to cope, the Prophet ﷺ resorted to what? Secret teachings. So the Muslims were meeting secretly and they were learning about the deen secretly because the Quraysh were prosecuting them, especially when most of the believers were people who were either slaves or they were lowly in the community. So the secret teaching started and they will move away. During one of these movements to the secret place, which is what? Dar al-Arkam. Arkam is the name of the person that owns the house where they actually meet. So during one of these visitations, some of the politics saw the Muslims and they were suspicious that the way these Muslims are moving around, they must be up to something. And they discovered that they were trying to do something. So Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, as we're going to learn later in grade 4, was the one who faced the politics. I was trying to defend the Muslims that, what do you want? Why should you be following us up and down? And he hit politics with the jawbone of a camel. And that incident marks the first bloodshed between the Muslims and the non-Muslims. So the secret teachings were actually to protect the interests of the Muslims, although Nabi Allah was still meeting people openly and calling them to al-Islam. When he realized that the Quraysh were not ready to listen to him, and when the hostility was too much, he decided to make a journey to Taif. Taif is a town about 60 miles away from Mecca. And he traveled all the way on foot with his companion Zayd bin Harith. He went with Zayd bin Harith in the 10th year after the revolution. He went there and he met with all the leaders, all the leaders of the clans. He met with brothers, he met with so many people. He tried to talk to them about al-Islam, but they all declined. They all declined and told him to leave their town. He spent about 10 days there and he met nothing but hostility and war and rejection. When he was going to leave, the foolish amongst them, of their leaders, they started chasing him with stones and sticks. They were pelting him and throwing things at him with the support of their leaders. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ suffered lots of injury that he bled so much his shoes were filled with blood. Zayd bin Harith tried to save him, but he was also injured. He was hit on his body, on his head, and so many things. The people in Taif turned deaf ears. They didn't listen to the message of Nabiullah. After they were stoning him, he moved away, and about 3 miles away from Taif, he hid behind a wall. So it was when at this wall that they actually left him. They kept on following him till he got to this very wall. When they had left him, he saw a tree where he sat down to rest. The tree was a grape tree that belonged to some Christians. When some of those Christians saw him and they saw that, oh, this man must need some help, they asked their slave, others, to give him some grapes. So others went to him and offered him some grapes. When he got there, do you know what Nabiullah did? He said, Bismillah. As a Muslim, you mustn't take anything without what? Remembering Allah, without calling the name of Allah on it. So when others heard that, he was surprised because he had never heard that before. And others said, where are you from? I've never heard what you said. Nabi Sallallahu said, where are you from? He said, oh, I am from Naiwana. Remember, we learned about Naiwana in grade 2. Yes, Naiwana is the town that Prophet Yunus was from. And remember that all the people of Naiwana became Muslims when Prophet Yunus preached to them and when they were afraid of the torment of Allah. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told others that, oh, that is the place my brother came from, my brother Yunus. Others were surprised. Yunus, because he must have heard about Yunus. He said, yes, Yunus is my brother and a prophet, and I'm also a prophet. Others were so happy. He embraced the prophet. He was very, very happy. So in this lesson, we've looked at the secret teachings while the Muslims were actually meeting and teaching themselves secretly, and we've looked at his journey to Taif. A very interesting thing happened when he went on his journey to Taif, because the people of Taif refused to listen to him. They all turned deaf ears to his teaching. When he was leaving, do you know what happened? Allah sent the angel to him, and the angel stood between the mountains that were facing Taif and said, ask, should I let these mountains fall on them and destroy them all? Do you know what Nabiullah said? Remember, we learned about kindness in our previous last lessons. Kindness to your enemies, kindness to your guests, kindness to animals. Do you know what he said? He said, no, I pray that Allah will bring out, even if it's just one believer from Taif. And Allah accepted his dua. Taif became a land of the Muslims. So I want you to go into your books. We're going to look at module 13 and 14. I want you to do the assessment questions there and submit on Friday. But before we end this video, let's quickly look at the lessons we learned. So the first lesson is, it is good to protect one's faith in a hostile environment. So when you find yourself in a hostile environment, it is very important to protect your faith. If it's possible to move away from that hostile environment, then you should move away from it. And the second lesson is, someone who calls to Allah must be ready to face opposition and persecution. So do not believe that because you love Allah and you're trying to be a better Muslim, you want to call other people to Islam, that people will see it from your point of view. Many times people don't see what we see. People don't understand what we understand. So you have to be very, very patient. They will call you names, they will abuse you, they will insult you. They can even go as bad as physically harming you. You have to be ready to face all these forms of persecution, because Allah will test you if you truly believe. So if you have questions regarding this topic, please send them to the assessment group. I'll be there to attend to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.